Hi, I'm Susan Justino, the 2021-2022 Poet Laureate of Jersey City, New Jersey. It is an honor to be here today, and I would like to thank Kai Coggin for inviting me to be part of the Wednesday Night Poetry virtual community. It's an honor, and I'm excited to be sharing some poetry with everyone tonight. So, this first piece that I'm going to be sharing with everyone is called Exposed. Beneath the shell of bone lies not a heart, but a person. This who I am begins not from the outside, already exposed. The smallest thread, pulled endless, breaks seams above bone. Arguments and struggles fall away, piled on the floor, forgotten. Beliefs and fears fall next. The great debate, silent. Experience, knowledge, know-how. Bring the pile knee-high, bright bones still protecting. Once that thread is pulled, what's left is me, naked in truth. Flesh that beats knows but one rhythm, survival. All of the pieces that make it work, real and imagined, feed from that rhythm, give the thumping a reason for living. Pull every bit from what you think makes me who I am into an exotic, enigmatic miracle of humanity composed of flesh and bone. This, who I am, raw and strong, is no gimmick, no pretense or pretty words. This, who I am, while protected by shell of bone, beats strong, exposed from inside out. Thank you. The next piece that I'm going to be sharing with you today is called Shedding. I could extol the virtues of motherhood, tell of the wondrous ability to create life, praise the struggles of raising kids as a single parent, martyr this as my greatest accomplishment. I could hide my failures, asinine judgment calls, ass backwards decisions, the madness and the chaos that followed, gloss it over, make it pretty. I could ignore the rage, having done so for years. Runs in fishnet stockings worn over varicose veins. That skin. Parchment paper edges singed. It's time to cut it away, peel it back, and grow a new one. Over scars my last relationship pried open just to watch the blood flow. The hardest thing isn't to let go. The hardest thing isn't to let go. The hardest thing isn't to let go. The hardest thing is to move on. Rediscover who I am, where I stand, not defined by work, motherhood, children, relationships, or any other human being. Find out where I walk. I stand at the mouth of change, looking back. I dare to look back. My shedding. Scattered along on a path I no longer travel. Maybe I like that. Today, I don't know how true that is. I do know that I have cut from me the need, the fear, the desire to return to the devil I know. Thank you. This next piece that I'll be sharing with you is called Inheritance. Inheritance is an expectation of blood that has long run thin, losing its strength through generation and generation of diluted rebellions, until you don't even ask why the pernil is cut before you put it in the mojo, why the olives are green and fingertips blackened by the labor of love that lost its meaning long ago, why the steps feel empty and the rhythms feel light, broken accents of tios y tias into the flat New Jersey Puerto Rican nasal correction from children who are taught that brown skin is a second-class punishment, but not taught to love that skin and the pain, sacrifice, laughter, and rhythms that come with it. Inheritance of blood is a belief that is changed. The trauma that's reflected, passed down from mother and father, 5 letters meaning lotus flower, with the strength of Egyptian queens and the tone of colonialism. Treated as a delicate lily, a rose whose petals fall in the heat, underestimated, undervalued, and invisible in the weeds of males and rules and control. The melanin that was once my inheritance, thinned by the blood of savages in the guise of men. And yet there was always hope. And yet there is always hope. The fierce determination to grow beyond the boundaries and limitations of those 5 letters expected to define me or wipe away my heritage of blood, of culture, of understanding, seen through the ideals of others, along with the accent that should have rightfully been mine. The whole pernil, marinated and cooked slow and long, leaving the lingering hope of what's to come. It's taken one generation forward to remind 2 generations back that what's in a made-up name is but a sound, passed on through the divinity of ancestors, clamoring to be remembered in the pale skin stretched over the conga, through the full steps and full skirts and full rhythms of la cultura, traditions of masa y achote deep into the night, wrapped in hojas de plátano, tied with butcher's twine, strong enough to keep the secrets in while the color bleeds out. Thank you. So before I do my last piece, I would like to extend a huge thank you to Kai Coggin again for inviting me to be part of the Wednesday night poetry virtual community. This has been an amazing experience, and I look forward to future events and to getting to know everyone in the community. You can find me on social media as Rescue Poetics, RescuePoetix. Please reach out, connect, let's keep building. So this last piece that I'll be doing is called The Nomad Spirit. Born with a nomad spirit, a wanderlust that transcends the ability to set roots in the everyday, always in search of the world within it, the hidden dimensions of alternate universes from one lily pad to the next. The grass is only greener at its best. The now world, the one that doesn't flex and bend to mirror images of what could be, grounded, or rather cemented in drudgery, begging questions that begin with, is this all there is? There must be more than this. Is this all there is? I wasn't born to shadow until my final breath. Is this all it is? My spirit wanders on, looking beyond the here, the now, the trauma embedded in my very flesh, flowing through veins of experiences and histories not of my making, birthed into me through traditions long accepted as normal. Beyond that, past the harvest of everyday seeds embedded in folds and flesh, comes a new moon. The moon of the wanderer, the one that changes everything, bathing flat earth in traces of new dimensions, the hunter's supermoon. Shift to fill feasts of nomadic motion, bursting seas marred by what was accepted as normal, deflated roots of generational trauma, heart racing, tingling at the possibilities alight by the fire that is the horizon, coaxing this wanderer through angles, exposed between colors that boggle the mind, with a grace that eases the body, raw in its every and very tone. Feast to every sense, to each of the senses, to all the senses, birthed in every moment, every breath, every possibility, a wild heart entranced, captured by its own beat, encircled by sweet new seeds, primitive in their need to grow, dropping along the way of wanderer's path where the true adventure begins.